For joining us. I'm Sophia Olivas, co-founder and CEO of EverSmart City. EverSmart City is a mixed-use IRL smart community built with shipping containers to provide affordable housing powered by renewable energy. It has sustainable agriculture and is integrated with blockchain technology. The pilot city will be breaking ground in Phoenix, Arizona by the end of 2023. If this is your first time joining us, please follow us on social media at EverSmart City and see what our technology division is up to by following EverSmart Labs. I recently attended the Seattle chapter opening for GFDA, which stands for Good Future Design Alliance, a company and organization based out of San Francisco. The GFDA is a community of designed and building professionals dedicated to reducing their members' total waste by 50% over 5 years. So some of the statistics that I learned in attending that event is why their organization is so important. 500 million tons of construction and demolition debris are generated in the United States alone annually. That's 2 times the Earth's capacity that's consumed annually by the entire Earth's population. And of that 500 million tons it's generated, 2.2 million tons of that is furniture and furnishings that are completely usable or at least recyclable that end up in landfills each year. So I was fascinated by this organization and by all the people that attended in the Seattle area. And we'll have the founder, Katie Story, as a guest in a future episode, and she'll speak about her organization and that whole movement. This episode is documenting EverSmart's travels on a quest to uncover and highlight sustainability practices, partners, and future collaborators that are out in the world. So I wanted to start with Costa Rica, where we started earlier in this year. And we started there for various reasons. It's still COVID while we were traveling, and it was one of the COVID friendly places to be able to travel at that time period. And also because of their sustainability practices and their renewables, it's just absolutely incredible. Their whole focus, their infrastructure is focused on tourism. So therefore their practices are in alignment with keeping tourism in mind and sustainable practices because of the stress that's put on a country when you're tourist focused. So we came upon developers that were utilizing modulars in all different types of capacities. There were tiny home villages. There were numerous single family homes built out of shipping containers that were the hottest things rented out on Airbnb. I tried multiple times to try to stay in one during my stay there, but you've got to rent them out months in advance. They're just popular wherever they go, which is another reason why that EverSmart City uses shipping container developments. There were also modular resorts that had breathtaking views. So eventually I'm going to be able to do these episodes and add in the graphics and videos, and we'll go back and take a look at some of those things because I did take a lot of film footage and photos for you guys, and I myself love visuals, so we'll get to that. So one of the shipping container providers that I ran into, their prices start at 129,000 USD, and you get one simple shipping container on 1.25 acres with an ocean view. And this is phenomenal. Any of us living in the States, just to have 1.25 acres with an ocean view for 129,000, let alone put a house on it, that's just extraordinary. And these views are breathtaking. I've traveled all over the US, all up and down the eastern and western seaboards, and these views are unparalleled, at least in our country. And the way that they can make that possible, like you're like one shipping container that's only like 340 square feet, right? So what's going on with that and how can they make that happen? Well, for example, they have amazing bathroom facilities outside of the shipping containers. Many of you maybe have not had the privilege to take a shower in the outdoors and with like a rainfall shower head and just greenery around you and the privacy utilizing bamboo and other just sustainable, amazing architectural tactics to give you privacy while still being out in nature. So that's one way that they do it. They also make the most amazing kitchens outdoors. So they utilize all of their space. A lot of them have rooftop, I guess, balconies where the kitchens are, in addition to the patios. They do it in all different spaces. I cook all of my meals whenever I am not traveling, and even when I do travel, I stay in Airbnb homes where I can have a full kitchen because cooking is that important to me. I love to just make every one of my meals because I really value the nutrition that I get from whole cooked foods. And these kitchens were just spectacular. They would make a culinary, um, anybody that's into the culinary arts just super happy. And these are also off-grid ready. So I was fascinated with the fact that they utilize so much solar in Costa Rica. Because if you've ever been to Costa Rica, in the wet, they only have 2 seasons for one reason, for one thing. It's the wet season and the dry season. That's how their seasons go because 'cause they're in the tropics, and so they don't have, like, temperature variances the way we do in most of the United States. So those are their 2 seasons, and I was just really impressed with how could they do solar when, first of all, during the wet season, you really like it's pouring and you just, there's that to deal with. And then the rest of the time, there's like trees, like massive 100-foot, 200-foot tall trees that block your views. And there's jungle and rainforest canopy. Like there's all kinds of stuff that block your views. Yet they're able to do it. And they, combine it with energy storage. And there's also, of course, um, oh my gosh, I can't even think what those are called. They're the things when you go offline. I don't know why it's slipping my mind, but I know everybody out there is thinking of them. But they have those on the ready. But here's the deal. Those houses had power much more consistently than the houses that had like the normal houses that were on the energy grid because the energy grid in their infrastructures goes out a lot for various reasons. Like when it's windy and stormy, trees inevitably fall on the power lines. And so you immediately lose power. So it was really interesting to find that these homes being off grid ready were actually their energy supply was more reliable. Generators, that was the word I was thinking of. They also can have backup generators should the need arrive for that. So they're off grid ready. They're weatherproof, which is why we utilize shipping containers. They can go through hurricanes, tornadoes, and in that area, they also have earthquakes. It's fireproof, but it's not going to help you with the volcanoes they have there. Just a pro tip there. That volcano kind of goes through everything. Yeah, and short term builds. It takes 90 days to get your home up and built. So those are some fascinating things. Now, you're on your loan to deal with the land ownership. You're not a resident there. You're not a national, you're an expatriate, patriot when you live there, right? You're not a citizen. So you've got to deal with that. And that's something that you've got to deal with on your own. And they're just single family homes. So here's how EverSmart differs in what we build. In our communities. In fact, we build smart communities. So how we differ is we do 40-acre communities minimum. And we do mixed use. So we target small businesses. So on the ground level of all of our communities is commercial storefronts. So those are all small businesses. We also grow our own agriculture, so beyond organics. So we do vertical growth. In about 20,000 square feet, we can grow enough food for over 1,000 residents, 200 small businesses, and still have enough to provide for the surrounding communities. So that's some of the differences. Another thing about the community is that we have schooling. We have education, chartered accredited education from kindergarten through to high school. So we focus on entrepreneurship and leadership training and development, and also ensuring that those that don't want to necessarily go into business for themselves have an actual trade and they are certified in their trade when they get out of high school so they can go right into, and it's an adult certification, so they can go right into that work that they want to do. We also incorporate our senior citizens in our communities. They are one of our most precious, valuable resources all over the world. They're the only ones that know how to do things anymore. and we incorporate them and allow them to help raise the children. So once the children are out of school and those that aren't in any type of athletic programs, they go hang out with the seniors in our maker spaces, which is where the public and the residents alike can borrow and utilize things like compressors, welders, 3D printers, anything like that, and fabricators to start building things. And in return, the students work with the seniors in the collaborative workspaces to teach them all about the technology and how to do things like this with pictures and movies and videos, and work all that stuff out. We also have an event center where we have the most phenomenal performances and acts that come in, and we have a community center where there is a place to work out, swim, meet, greet, hold meetings, all that kind of fun stuff. And we also have an economic model which incentivizes positive behaviors, and it provides a financial pathway for residents and the public alike and investors. And we also deal with the land ourselves, and we do it in the format of a mobile home park where EverSmart retains the land ownership and the residents own their homes and they just pay a pad fee. So wherever we build, whether it's in third world countries or in the US, we take care of that for you guys. So there's so much more to discuss about Costa Rica, the rising expat communities, which are bringing about rising home prices. There's creative, sustainable practices that we look forward to sharing with you. So join us next time for EverSmart City, where technology enhances the human experience.